Mike, how do people usually describe you versus how would you describe yourself?
That's it depends who you're talking to, really. Like, I guess I'm that sort of person. You either have a love with me, or you just fucking hate me. Like, really, there's no real in between because I'm pretty real about who I am. You know what I mean? So I think when you're like that, you can be quite polarizing. So, you know, like people will either like, yeah, I mean, caring. Those who are good with me, they'll say that I'm caring, that I'll always spend the time and energy to try and get them somewhere. I think they'll say that I sacrifice a lot for a lot of people, you know.
You're definitely a giver.
Yeah. Watch how you say that, bro. Yes.
No, it's true. For the people you care about.
For the people, yeah. So, this is going. So, yeah, I mean.
Who is Mike?
I think it's real hard. I think it's a hard question. You know what I mean?
Have you figured it out yet?
Yeah, I have, but I keep everything kind of close to my chest. You know what I mean? So, I will give people what they need in their life in order for them to go the places that they need to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And to do that, I will always reserve a part of me that I think that would get in the way or hinder the goals that they will have. Yeah. So say if you wanted to fight, like, man, some days I'm an angry guy, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to come down and just be angry with you all the time. I'll have to figure out what the levers for you are to make you feel good about your life, that you will succeed. Because whether it's a fighter with my friend or anything like this is those sort of things that I need in my life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, who am I? Multitude of things, you know. I think everyone's a multitude of things. Who I am today is different from who I was 10 years ago, who I was 5 years ago. For the day that I met you, remember when I first met you? Yeah. I'm very different from the day that I first met you.
You're worse. That's...
There was a day you called me out. But you know what I mean? Like, intrinsically, I think the values have kept the same, but the person I've become continues to change, you know?
So the day that I met you, which was, I guess, 7 years ago.
Yeah, COVID. Smack bang, middle of COVID.
You were a trainer.
Yep.
Right? And now you came a very long way. I mean, you still train, but now you're also a businessman. You have your own gym, and now also the level of training. You were
absolutely
everything. So what make you go to the next level? Because now you train UFC fighter, you train PFL champions, you train who's who.
I think I'm one of those guys that just never quit. You know what I mean? And anything I do, I'm just gonna go with it and just go with it with everything I've got. You know, I've never been that kind of like half in, half out kind of guy. I'm like that. No plan B, all in. Fuck, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And then where it will lead me is where it will lead me. So I've never said to myself like, oh, I want to be the world's best coach, or, you know, I want to own. I didn't even think about that 7 years ago when I met you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It was nothing of that. But at the same time, when the opportunity has always arose, I've never like looked it down. I've said, okay, well, you know, this must be the plan from somewhere else, something bigger than me. I'm just going to run with it. And that really is why I landed to where I am today, and probably where I'll land wherever, you know. I've never been afraid to die. So that also goes, I was sitting in the shower this morning, I was like, man, you know, I'm not saying that I want to, but when you don't have a fear of dying, then you start to look at every single day as like, well, I'm lucky to be above this earth today, because I might go tomorrow.
Oh yeah, of course.
And, you know, and I've had very close friends of mine, you know, and very close people in my life disappear on me. And so I said, I don't know what tomorrow brings. So I'll maximize what I have right here, right now. And then if I wake up again tomorrow, I'm at it again. But ultimately, bro, like, that's kind of my attitude towards it, you know, and that's what's caused the change. Because if you just head down a path, man, it'll just lead to wherever it will lead to, you know?
Absolutely. And talking about fighting, were you a good fighter, actually? Because you're a great coacher, but what about fighter?
Nah, I actually hit it out early. I didn't really like the concept of it. My coach laughed in my fight. He's like, laughed. He laughed. I laughed in the whole... Well, I grew up in such a violent upbringing, yeah. So violence was kind of, not daily, but violence was always in the household for me, you know? And so I was so in tune with it. So there was no challenge of violence. Like if it's in your house and it's everywhere where you are, I walk out of the house and it's around me everywhere. Like, man, where I grew up, like everyone fights, you know what I mean? I didn't know that you're meant to go out in the weekends and not fight until I hit like 20. You know, like every weekend was like going out and going like, oh man, like scraps will go. I wasn't good at them. Yeah, it's not like I was good at them, but it was just such a part of the norm. Then you get back into the house and you know it's there. So for me, there was no real challenge over that. But I had my daughter at that time.
How old were you when you had your daughter?
21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's funny. I look at all the 21-year-olds that I got coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, you guys can't do fucking anything for yourselves. You know, at 21, I had to fast become a man, you know what I mean? And even then, the first 2 years of that was a bit of a shit show, you know? Like, you're 21 and people are out partying and people are out doing these things. And here I am trying to just, you know, put food on the table for the child. It's not like she didn't, but I always thought my job was a provider. So ultimately, when I started training when Bubs was 5. So I started training quite late. And then it just got to this place where it was like, yeah, I just ended up in there. And then it was like, to be honest, I had a bit of buzz when I would be with my daughter. But I loved the sport. And basically when I came in, all the boys when we came in at the same level, they all had aspirations to kind of carry forward. I didn't have that aspiration, but I loved the boys, you know, because in a sense,
you did it more for like the community?
Yeah, I did it because, man, in my heart, being around them saved me. Because I broke up with my baby's mum. I'm a little lost. I walk into this gym. The gym's like all these animals in there. Like, bro, nothing like SOMA. SOMA's the most non-intimidating gym in the world. I walk through my one. 7 guys straight looked at me like this, you know, as I walk in. Bro, and they can fight, you know. And then I'm just like, damn. And so when I got there and then I started to meet up with the other ones from our same like intake. It's like intakes. You got to understand, like, because you got more established fighters everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
So when you come in, you've got like this intake of all new green people, and you know no one knows where you will all go, but they became like your brothers, you know. And so they were like, oh man, I want to like try, and I would just jump on the pads with them. I'd be shit house on the pads, but you know what I learned about coaching? It didn't even matter, but the skills I had as like a pad guy, or it was just, I realized they just needed someone next to them that believed in them and they could take it further. Man, I've seen world champs being built out of garages, you know, with 3 people. Bro, the truth is that if this person decides it and then this person supports it, fuck, they can go all the way. It's crazy, but it's true.
So what do you think makes, because now you trained a few.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a world champ? What's the difference between making it and not making it in combat sports?
Man, it's really easy, yeah? The quote goes that champions will do what contenders won't. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really, like, there is no other way
Steroids.
to put... Yeah. Bro, some of them are like, damn, you going big. Yeah, yeah. I mean, bro, in one silly way, of course. Hey, some people are not going to do that. Damn, there's some steroided champions out there in that world. So, yeah.
Shout out John Jones.
Oh, he's going to come for you, bro. He's going to come for you.
I'm too small. I'm too small.
So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, you know, it's just that. They just put in more work. They just put in work. They put in work when nobody else is putting in work. I know when I walk into SOMA, who's going to get titles. I know who's going to get them. I already know. You know what I mean?
Because, like, I come from the world of comedy, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it can be translated maybe also to fighter and to
Absolutely.
many professions. Like, talent only gets you so far.
Absolutely.
Because what I always tell when I, for example, teach comedy is if right now, if 2 people start at the same time and one is more talented than the other,
yeah.
If you keep on working on your, one day you're gonna. It's like
100%.
with basketball. If I'm better naturally at basketball, but you practice every day and never practice.
Absolutely.
Not today, not tomorrow. You're gonna kick my ass
you.
eventually.
I'll catch you. Yeah. It's funny.
Unless there are the outliers. There's some people that are just born to do something.
Yeah, for sure.
In comedies like Dave Chappelle, when he was 15, it was hilarious. Or in soccer, Maradona.
Yeah.
Maradona used to play for Napoli in Italy, and it was famously that you could see the videos of all his team running around the field and practicing, and he was sleeping on the bench because 100%. He came from a night of cocaine. Yeah. And he still was the best player 100%. In the world. Who's that fighter, you think? Ooh. Well, maybe John Jones, actually, because he never...
He does a lot of coke?
No, but... No, but also...
Is that what the comparison is?
He famously said that for many fights, he didn't train at all, because it was almost 100%. An excuse that would give himself. If 100%. I don't train and then I lose, then it's because I didn't train.
100%. You got to remember, like, people walk in, and if they're successful at something, they will just adapt that model. So if you are not training, you're winning... Well, why would you change that? Do you know what I mean? Some fighters are better. The loose units, we got fighters in there that like drink too much, party all the time. But if I took that off them, they might not be the fighter who they really are because they take risks. That lot will take a risk. It's funny. Yuki will say, he goes, you know what? With the Kiwis, I realize what makes them good. You just give them a beer, and I like laugh. But in some ways, some of them will have a high knockout percentage
if they drink.
If they drink, bro. Some don't, like Kong doesn't care, but some of the Kiwis, they got high percentage. Look, here's my comparison. I hope the boys don't hate me for this. Oscar, likes to have a drink. His knockout. He's knocked out over 50 fighters. He's knocked out over 50 fighters.
That's crazy.
And then he's a guy that when he finishes the fight, I got to get him I spend 3 weeks trying to wrangle him back to the gym. Then you got Zach, who keeps it 100, never everything's pure, doesn't drink, does that.
No knockouts.
It's just, sorry Zach, but he just
actually okay.
He does all the work, but he gets the job done.
Let's get you in trouble. Who is the laziest fighter that you ever coached?
Ever?
No, okay. Current.
SOMA.
Current.
Current and SOMA. Oh,
we'll just send him this clip with a brochure for all the other gyms in Bali.
Look, we got a Yuki. Yuki does my head in. Yeah, I love Yuki. Yuki's like that nephew that you have and that you're so close with, but at the same time you wish you never had and you wish he wasn't part of your family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And who's the opposite? Who's the hardest worker in the room?
Man, you got Ben Willis, you got King Kong, you got Nakashi, you got...
Ben is doing dirty boxing, right? Yeah. Which is interesting for me because he's probably the best kicker I've ever seen.
Yes.
And he's going to do boxing, which is...
So no one wants to fight him. That's the reality. So... He's on a bunch of side quests now. So what I did last year is I took him purposely to one championship.
Yeah.
So I took him there because, look, for all fighters, they think, fuck, we got to go to the UFC. That's the plan, yeah?
Of course.
But Ben comes from a striking. Great kicker, loves striking, two-time world champ. So I'm like, you know what? Come with me. Lito's fighting. Come with me. And I knew what I was doing. And he turns up there, and he's like this. So I'm on the other side. Me and my mate Adam, we're on the other side watching the fights. Lito's finished. We're sitting there watching, and I see Ben in the stands. He's got his camera, like a little fanboy, oh man. And I realized, he loves this part. This is the part he loves. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, ultimately, he wants to stay a striker. We're just UFC's a place because for a lot of fighters, it's one of the only places in the world they can kind of go to anymore. Kickboxing's, in some ways, shutting down around the world.
Yeah. Well, now wrestling, RFA, I don't know if you heard about it. Now there's this new organization in the US that is just pure wrestling.
That's the one that, what's his name on it, eh?
Yeah, they just had an event. Rockhold against Covington, they had Cejudo, they have... Now they're trying to bring up just pure wrestling, which is cool.
Yeah, which is cool. You can see everyone's starting a side quest.
Yeah.
Everyone's just starting a side quest because I think what they find is that they've missed the purity of the sport that they started with. MMA is cool, but they all came from somewhere, which was their first passion.
And that's the beauty of the UFC, because you have the striker versus the grappler, 100%. The jiu-jitsu guy, and the boxer.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it is. So you can see they're going back to those places. And what's good is that old UFC guys are jumping out of those and coming onto those, which will create some popularity around it. So.
Yeah, because also the UFC, though, doesn't let you have striking matches, but does let you have a grappling match. Ones, yeah. So you can do jiu-jitsu, you can do...
Absolutely, yeah. Which is real odd. It's really strange.
Because you can get hurt real bad. Like,
you get probably torn off, probably like a year off.
More hurt in jiu-jitsu than in other disciplines.
Imagine you get knee barred and your knee's done, and that's a year off. Whereas if you get KO'd, that's a 30-day stand down. You're all good, I'll be back again. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's odd. It's very odd. Yeah, leave the strikers alone, I say. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Yuki's not so lazy. He's just inconsistent. You know what I mean? Inconsistently lazy. You know?
Exactly. He's like, not even consistent on being lazy. That's even worse.
You would say that he's lazy. You know what I mean? By that notion. But yeah.
And okay, who's the best fighter you have? Who's the one that you say he can be a UFC world champion?
See, this is just unfair. Like, who'll be UFC world champ? Someone like that. You would say, look, a kid like Nkosi is interesting. Because he doesn't, I always say, he doesn't have loud traits. He wins, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he is so technical when he wins. But
he's a PFL Africa champion, right?
He's PFL Africa champ, you know? But then you got so it's the two Africans, yeah? And the reason why is that they train the house down. Like, they don't stop training, bruv. Like, they don't stop training. So if you were to ask me, looking at it on paper, who has the potential? The two African boys. And people always say to me, like, oh, yeah, it's genetics. But it's not genetics. Because, trust me, there's some fat Africans out there. You know what I mean?
No, but also, you recently went to Africa for a fight night. And if it's genetics, you should have all African champions.
But it should all be African champions. Yeah. The UFC should be stacked with African champions. In fact, you will get, like, Africans who have settled in places like Israel and then Kamaru Usman and them. They keep it and then they lose it. But the reality is... they're not there and they don't dominate over there. So it's not genetics. I just think that, when it's telling you that I went to West Central Africa, it's definitely not South Africa. Two places are two very different places. But you can understand why they grind differently. Because where they're from, I think there's so much more to lose than what the rest of us come from. Like, we think we live some hard lives. I've been to India multiple times. But even then, there's safety nets and there's ways inside of there, But, man, and the three Africans that we have, bro, they're in the gym like 7 hours a day. And you know what you're saying about the comedians and that, most comedians need to work on their craft to get to where they need to do. I always tell everyone, it's just a mathematic game. It's just mathematics. The more that you do this, the better you will get. The more you train than the opponent, the reality is that you should on paper beat them because you train more than them. You know what I mean? Or you train smarter than them, you train more. But it's just mathematical equation, And you got these monsters.
And you see with comedy actually we're lucky because I'm lucky, for example, because I've had a little bit of success. Yeah. And the truth is that 90% are lazy comedians. Yeah. Like, comedians would just not do the work. So outworking them, it doesn't mean you're a hard worker. It means that you just do a little bit more. With fighting, there's so many people that work their asses off.
Yeah. It's amazing when I watch the whole comedian kind of movement. Like, who would have thought 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that people like Kevin Hart would just sell out huge stadiums and just do these, huge stadiums. Yeah.
Well, and many comedians talk about it. I never obviously had this kind of experience. The biggest crowd I've ever done was 7,000 people, which is not bad.
Yeah, that's sick.
But, stadium is weird because you completely lose the connection, which is what brings you
just lights.
I think that the craziest comedian story is Steve Martin. Yeah. The guy with the white hair. Yeah. So at one point, he became so big that he was only doing stadiums, and he had to stop doing stadiums because people were so starstruck that they were not listening to him. They were just like, and so he said, I cannot perform anymore. Yeah. That's how big, only the Beatles and him had to stop performing because of something like that. Imagine how big you are.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. But now it's like a second wave, like he's a renaissance of comedy, because now comedians are becoming truly huge stars.
Yeah, man.
All over the
I'm
world.
like addicted to watching comedians at the moment.
Who's your favorite?
Mate. I'm liking
me.
I'm liking you.
Okay,
You
okay.
always at the top of the list. You're a funny dude. When I first met you, I didn't think that you'd be funny, and then I went to your show and I was like,
but
damn,
because
you're
it's different,
funny.
being funny.
Yeah, of course. I feel sorry for comedians because people must say to you like, "Hey, bro, say something funny." They mustn't do it all the time.
Yeah, but also imagine also the fighter, how much you're bothered
go
by
punch
people.
that guy over there. Yeah. So okay, sweet. Now they'll do it for free.
But so who's your favorite?
I'm liking Nate Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm liking Nate Jackson at the moment, and then Ariel Spears.
Oh, pretty niche.
Yeah. See, I'm good. I'm on my algorithm now, so now I've just scroll. There he is.
Mine
there
is
he
just Russian women. And
algorithm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this weird.
We're gonna cut that because my wife is
listening. Bro. She's gonna kill you. But Kevin Hart, I loved Kevin Hart.
This is the problem, which is not a problem. Kevin Hart, I think he was the best when he was young.
Yeah.
The problem is that when you're a comedian, and I think fighter might have the same issue, you become so big that as at least for a comedian, it's difficult to be consistently funny because people don't relate with you anymore because you're such a star.
Yeah.
Also, as a comedian, you cannot even practice anymore. Because if Kevin Hart goes to any comedy club to try new material, people are just going to be so happy that he's there that they're going to laugh at anything he says. It doesn't matter.
He says hello, they'll laugh.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
So you cannot really... You really need to have a good team around you that is not yes man, but is going to check you.
Because you would just... Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that because the last one I really liked was only really like 3-4 years ago. You know, his comedy special.
I mean, he's still a GOAT and everything. But there was an interview, Jamie Foxx was saying that at one point he realized he's lost this comedy when he was in a comedy club, and he made a joke about what's the problem of having a second Range Rover. Yeah. And people looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, oh shit, I need to go back to my roots.
But bro, the man can sing. Like
the man can do anything.
Act, sing, comedy. Crazy
impressions.
He's
good. His last special was interesting because it was less of a special and more of a storytelling. Because of course he almost died and then he came back.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to see this one. Yeah. I love Jamie Foxx. I love the Jamie Foxx show.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What is an advice that people tell you, repeat you, or told you in the past that you think is awful?
Like a load of shit.
Yeah. Maybe about fighting or about your life.
I think you know, people give you advice of like, you don't need anyone in your life, and that you know you can do that. You can do everything by yourself, and if you put your head down and you do everything, you'll get there, and you don't need anyone. And that's a load of shit, really. Yeah, everybody needs somebody, man. I didn't get to where I got to with nobody, and I see like people share those like, you know, motivational like videos like, you don't need anyone. You know, you can get there, but you gotta struggle. And it's like, bro, like you need everybody around you to get you to the next stage, and you lean on every single person because that's what they're there for. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then not enough of us understand that, man. Everybody needs help, man. Like, fuck.
And it's interesting when you become a little bit older. I'm 40 now. You obviously are way older. But it's like you kind of embrace that, you know, the role of be more of a giver, be more of a mentor. You know, it's not about you.
You know what they call me? You know what I realize in the gym now? I've got about 9 nephews in the gym and 2 nieces. Like today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm just, So you become the uncle.
Yeah.
You just become everyone's uncle.
Like, for example, how did you feel when one of your fighters won a championship? Was it part of you that was like, fuck, I wish it was me?
Nah. It's not even close, you know what I mean? Like, I just look at every one of them. I don't even want to, do you know the truth? I watch what most of them do and like, what the hell are you doing this for? But you know what I mean? You chose that. I'll walk this journey with you. I'm good to get you onto that journey. But honestly, you know, people walk up to me and say, "Oh yeah, I want to be a pro fighter." I'm like, bro, I don't know. Choose something else. Yeah. Like, choose something else. You ask him to be broke for 10 years. You know what I mean?
And then maybe if you don't get injured, if the star align,
brother, this is the percentage.
Yeah.
The percentage is like this.
But that's the price of glory.
That's the place of glory and pride. And that's the difference. You ask me who I am, I'm not a guy who even cares about any of it. I actually give no shit about
and
the
maybe
glory or the pride.
that's why you are a better coach than you are a fighter.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, I just want everyone else to do way better. You know, like you asked me, what do people think when they see me? I think people think that I love the limelight. I think a lot of people think I like it. Yeah. Like those that really like look at me from a side, they think that I like the attention, I like the limelight, I like to be, you know, like in the middle of stuff. It's the ones that kind of like, they're the people that kind of want to find something against me, yeah?
But if somebody wants to find something against you, they'll always 100%. Will.
But that's the part they see, because what they see is that I'm in the limelight, I'm always like talking, I'm always like ahead of everybody, I'm always like leading this thing. But there's a reality, I don't want any of it. You know what I mean? The truth is, I do it because who the fuck else gonna do it, bro? I look around and I'm like, shit, you know, I'm better placed right now to help this group here get through to this position. Doesn't take away the fact there's others around me with those same set of skills. But when all the shit turns, I'm the guy that people will go, okay, sweet, like, fuck, what do we do? You know what I mean? Who wants that? I don't want the responsibility of that. Bruv, it's New Year's Eve, yeah? I get this phone call. I've got a fighter holding a tissue up on his head going, Coach, I just crashed my bike. Do you know what I mean? It's New Year's Eve, bro. I just settled in. I had this glass of ice. I got to drop everything. I ring up everybody, go down there, and then I'll go down and meet. Next day, something's wrong with my leg. I need to go do this. Do you know?
And you're the person everyone depends on.
Bruv, half my phone is everybody's issues. Yeah. And then I've got to come in and deal with them. But if I don't deal with them, no one else going to deal with them.
And it's the same with training, like, for example, because, of course, in the fighting industry, some fighters come and go and they move gyms and everything. Have you ever, like, watched one of your ex-fighters get knocked out or lose a match and be like, damn, if I was there, I could have helped with
100%, 100%. You do it a lot, you know, when fighters, like, move here or thing. You know, here's an example, yeah. Aaron fights Japan against Yuki Yosa, who's undeniably one of the best fighters in the world.
It was recent, right?
Nah, that one was a year and a half. That was the top Cambodian. That kid's tough, bro. Like, Aaron does my head in, but fuck, that kid's tough. Yeah, maybe delete that. I don't need him to get a big head. So, yeah, I mean, so Aaron goes and fights Yuki Yosa. So I'm like, well, I got to go Yuki Yosa. Oscar goes and fights his first karate combat fight. But it's in Bangkok and I got the boys and I'm good to go. The night before Aaron's fight, I watched the fight and Oscar loses, but by like this minuscule. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so you felt like shit because you were like, if I were there.
The truth is that it's nothing against the boys that were with him that day because they did a great job. Yeah. But that 5% push across the line because it's a split decision, means two judges went one way and one judge went the other way. You asked me if I could say the right things to that boy at the right time to sway that one judge over 100%. You know, that's what I'm good for because I know the kid since he was 16. You know what I mean? And
how much difference do you think it makes? So if we have to give a weight of the preparation, how much your roles weighed in, and how much is the role during the fight of a coach?
I mean,
because from the outside, I would think once he's in the cage or in the ring, there's nothing you can do.
So pivotal.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Those, especially those, like, it's why you see so many fighters give so much props to their whole team and their coaches. You know, no matter where you are, if the person's a good person, they will say, I didn't do this by myself. These people got me to this position. Everyone makes the assumption, because fighting's an individual sport, that it's based on the individual. Now, when the cage shuts, it's between that individual and that individual. Yeah. And the reality is, though, is that when they shut that cage, or when you jump over the ring, the only voice, it's like God talks to you. It's a very surreal moment, yeah? So what happens is that you go out of tune of the crowd. You can kind of hear them. You hear the roars and this and that. but you just hear this voice. It's like there's an earpiece. If you have a great relationship with your fighter, it's like an earpiece in your ear. Okay. Yeah, and all you can hear in this crazy land of chaos is this voice, and you hear these two voices going, hey, this and that, hey, this and that. And a very, very good fighter with a symbiotic relationship with their coach will hear that over 30,000 people, and that's the difference. Yeah. So that can make the difference. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because also, as you said, is an individual sport. It's interesting because, to prepare a fighter, you need a whole team and a training camp and a lot of people and support and a meal plan and whatever. But then the limelight just goes on one person.
Yeah, yeah. But that's good. That's what you want.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think the majority of coaches, that's actually what they want. There's a few, and I've seen that will push the fighter out the way and go first. But really, bruv, people have gone into coaching. Coaching is a horrible profession. It's like you just end up with all the problems and the shit end of everything. But you keep that person in good enough steer so that when they finally hit where they need to hit, they land. You know what I mean? And so you get your buzz out of watching them succeed. And that's one of the best feelings on earth. You know what I mean?
And also, like it must be extremely like you must be very careful how you calibrate the way you are, because of course these are fighters, these are of course fighter is not like they're wild men, even though sometimes they can be, I guess, but you have all these very dangerous when they're on people with big egos, of course. And how do you manage this wolf pack?
You become the lead wolf, my friend. It's like that. People ask about the sparring room, But I've checked people in the sparring room. I don't care if they're like this big.
What do you mean by check?
Oh man, like they start getting out of control, because you turn up to a room of 40 guys, and remember the gym's an international gym. So I haven't trained half this room I've never trained before, you know what I mean? And then you'll get like 3 or 4 outliers who have walked in, and then they want to take a chomp out of like people. And then, I've been in a lot of situations in the gym where usually the Russians, no offense. It's usually the Russians. The Russians like just fucking try.
He's the worst combination, like the most dangerous. I would not say that. He's Russian and Muslim.
Yeah. But I learned with the Russians. It was very weird. I've learned with the Russians. Very strange, but with Russian fighters, especially Russian fighters, the more I'm aggressive and I swear at them, the more they'll respond back to me.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll have like, if I see that the Russian is unfair, I know it sounds racist, but I've got the room full and then like a couple of Russians will walk in, but they think that they'll just come in and like say nothing. And then I'll stop the class. I'm like, hey. And then they like stop, everyone stops. You two. And then they look at me. I say, who the fuck are you two? Like, oh. Because it's not like the general classes. I will never do that general classes. Of course. But this is the fighters class. And who the fuck are you two? And they're like, oh. And they go, oh, we are here for sparring. I said, hey, in your gym, you come up and say hello to the coach, or you just go and do what you want. And you have to establish it and check them straight off the bat. You know what I mean? Because you have to let people know right then and there that I am the lead. Like, I will say in the room, like, yo, I'm the only lion in this room and all you are just cubs. Like, but you have to have this attitude.
And you really need to believe it, because otherwise they'll see straight through you.
Like, you can kill me. Yeah. But that room's my room.
Of course.
And, I'll pace the room. And so, I've done it multiple
And it doesn't
times.
matter that they're younger or bigger or...
Bro, you could be fucking 7 foot tall. Man, I'm gonna crack you. Like, you know what I mean? But you have to have that attitude amongst them so that when they all look at you, because your fighters are looking at you, and you have a strange fighter walk through the door.
Because otherwise you lose respect for your fight.
They start looking at you. All my fighters will come out after like, damn, coach, you need to chill. And I'm like, bro, you get over there. I don't need your fucking advice, And so you deal with rooms like that. Fuck, they're highly emotional. You got people punching on with each other. It's an emotional thing, you know what I mean? Someone punches too hard. Oh fuck! I escalated. This guy escalated.
And not only that, maybe you just found out your girlfriend was cheating or whatever it is.
It could be a myriad of things.
There's one of your fighters. I'm not gonna say who, because they're actually gonna beat me up. If you can say whatever you want, I cannot say whatever. But I was having a conversation and he told me that, when he had problems with his girlfriend, of course he would never touch a woman.
Yeah.
But he would, his sparring partners would, and he would tell her, because of what she did, now I'm gonna hurt somebody, and it's your fault.
Yeah, 1,000%.
I was like, fuck.
You take everything into that room, but you need someone able to control it. Because if this person escalates it, but this person's okay with the escalation, shit, we got a good sparring. We got some good, like they're gonna gun. Because you got to remember that, like they both have kind of like unofficially signed off to swing on with each other. They could hurt each other.
That's their job.
But it's their job. And this one's checked it and gone, yeah, I'm good with this. Because you can see there's an attitude that happens. And then they go, yeah, I'm good with this. And this one goes, oh, you're good with it? Well, I'm good with it. And then they keep it. So there are moments in sparring, like, oh, man, I get, one thing I hate about coaching is this whole online mess.
Yeah.
This whole online mess. Everybody's got an opinion on how you should do things. Like, it is wild, bro. Like, I watch comments on people saying, so one big commentary is around how people spar hard.
Yeah. And you guys post also the sparring.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I post their sparring. Yeah. It's like people go, oh, you're sparring hard and the Thai spar light. And that's bullshit. Like, yeah, some Thai spar hard, some Thai spar.
What's your? Because this is one of the questions I wanted to ask. Because for example, I also remember like Max Holloway said that for 2 years he didn't spar at all. And what do you think is best? Is it best to spar a lot or to spar, or it depends on the fighter?
Depends on the fighter, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it really just, you cannot take anyone's system away. People say you can't spar hard. Mike Tyson knocked out. Mike Tyson would get 10 sparring partners and put each one away in first rounds. That's what he did. Who's going to argue with him? The most dominant fighter maybe in history. Yeah. And he just put away sparring. But you shouldn't spar hard. Go there, tell him to that. You see,
go tell him.
Bro, you see 90% of boxers, they spar hard, but they're the top of the world. The Dutch, people complain about the Dutch, and Dutch sparring is like at 100%. Bro, they ruled the K1. On the flip side, you got the Thais, they play light, this and that. They go in there and they wreck the foreigners. Bro, there is no one system. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's individual to the fighter. If the fighter likes to spar hard, they'll do good.
So you'll see in the first few sparring sessions how the
which
fighter...
one they are? Yeah, 100%. You get a guy like kid like Godwin, yeah? You see a kid like Godwin, he likes to fucking throw a little bit hard. So what I'll do is I'll put him with the heavier ones. That allows him to kind of let go a little bit. And the heavy ones go, okay, I'll check you, little punk. And they check him. And he comes back at them. And they check him. And he comes back at them. But really, because of the weight differential, what I hate is when people come to the room and they go, oh, that guy's bigger than me. Why would I spar him? I said, man, because you'll learn stuff. You know what I mean? Or that guy's not as good as me. And I said, bro, practice your jab and don't be touched. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people misunderstand sparring, you know? But you can get hurt in there.
Why do you think, if you're a young fighter or even seasoned fighter, why would you leave the US or England to come train in Bali? Or why would you come train in Bali instead of Thailand, for example?
Yeah, I mean, we say because we have one of the best coaching models in the world. And that's not like, I see a lot of gyms around on this island and a lot of people like to talk shit, like say, oh, we got the best. Yeah, that's all irrelevant. The best way to see who's got the best is to see who has the best fighters and who is doing well on the world stage. Yeah, you got guys who are doing well in this one, in this small show, that's irrelevant. You will only ever see who's the world's best when they fight the world's best. That's how you decide who's the world's best, yeah? So when you see that, you're like, okay, yeah, I mean.
So if I'm a fighter and I'm like, I can either stay in the US where there's tons of gyms, I can go to Thailand, or why Bali instead of... I guess right now the big question for fighters is whether if they want to move to Southeast Asia, is Thailand or Bali. Yeah,
so it's just styles. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's styles. Because of who I am, we adopt a very strong New Zealand, Australia, like the Anzac style, which is very punch heavy, some good kicks, aggressive, like to be in the pocket and punch on. You know what I mean? Have you ever watched Dan Hooker 1 minute scraps?
Those are crazy.
You will understand that we love to bang. Like, we just love it. So props to Dan for showing the world that that's what we love to do. So what you see is the style's quite aggressive and it's quite strong. And I always say, like, the Europeans, they mix it up. Like, they'll hit someone, but when it gets a little bit too hard, they'll just shoot on each other. And I'm like, damn. You know, Kiwis and Aussies, you hit them and they'll just look at you like, nah.
So you should choose the gym based on your style?
Yeah, you should choose it based on your style. Bali versus Thailand, basically what you're going to get, other than good foreign coaches that are in Thailand, is that the Thais will hold for you, but they're holding you Muay Thai style, which is not necessarily the best translation to something like MMA. The reason why people leave the States is because, you know, outside of boxing, the United States actually, in Muay Thai and K1 or kickboxing, they're actually not that good. No offense, American people, but bro, they've never really had anyone that shined. They've had people that have competed at a high level, but no one that shined. The Dutch have, the Kiwis have, the Aussies have. Like, man, we've got multiple world champions, you know? And so they leave those places because they want to grow the side that's really helped them do really, really well. You know what I mean? And when they know when they get here. When you get here, you can see it. You can see that the patterns are different. They learn up new things. They go, oh, man, this is very cool. I didn't know you could do this, you know? And so, yeah, it's a style thing. If you want to be a heavy wrestler, like
2-3 year Dagestan and forget.
100%. Go Dagestan. Learn how to do that. But then you got to, like, try and out-wrestle wrestlers. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like you're going to learn in 6 months how to out-wrestle. I saw this clip on Makaev, yeah? Makaev came out. Yeah. And he was like, basically what he was saying was, you know what, everyone? You should stay within your home gyms. And then you should do these small stints to go see where everybody else is. And then come back to your home gym. Why do people come Southeast Asia? Because honestly, like Thailand and Bali, it's cheap to live. And
quality of life.
Quality of life. So that you can just train. Because if you're going to stay back in your home countries, you're going to have to work 60, 70 hours a week. And you're going to have to train on top. But if you can save enough money and you can head out, you could do a 6-month stint.
And also in Bali, also from the nutrition standpoint, it's cheap to eat clean. And
clean. So clean.
Like the same diet that you can have in Bali, in the States, is going to be so expensive.
Right, 4 times more expensive. 7 if you're in New Zealand. You know, but yeah. So the lifestyle / the training systems, they work for you.
Do you think, what does pressure do to you? It sharpens or slow you down? Do you think it's better to put pressure? Pressure makes diamond, or pressure can just crush people?
Personally, good question. I think in some instances, especially when you get my age, you want just less of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You've been tested enough. Like, sometimes I look at God and just go, oh, you're testing me enough here. Like, you know, just give me some pressure off this. So, I mean, you know, if you've come from a place where there's lots of pressure, you kind of don't want to carry on. You know, it's funny, you know, we talk a lot about suicide, and I saw you actually, I saw your story, and it was actually like, it blew my mind. I was like, oh shit, you know, and I can really understand, like, people just keep applying pressure on top of people without understanding, especially for men. And I hate to say it, like, because, you know, because men are more susceptible to suicides than women. So, you know, it's not a gender thing. It's like, it's a reality.
Yeah. And statistics.
And I can understand, you know, like, man, it's just the pressure mounts, and it does make diamonds, but it can also break you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and breaks you all the time, you know, like
me. I've always run away from pressure, which is weird because my job is to be in front of people.
Thousands of people.
But I remember, but for example, pressure for me, I was scared of pressure because I've always had imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I never felt I really belonged, even when I get the recognition. I remember, like, the first time I consciously remembered and realized I had a problem with it, I was 14.
Yeah.
And I won a regional swimming competition. Yeah. Nothing to it. And then a scout came, I was next to my mom, and said, well, we think your son has great potential. Yeah, that's cool. We would like to have him in the team. Yeah. And I looked at my mom and I said, I never want to swim again. And that's it. And I never swam again. Because I was like, that's too much. No, stay away from me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand it, man. So, yeah, I think pressure can, like, if you're a fighter, fighters don't have a choice. Fighters just don't have a choice.
Because also the problem with the fighter is that, for example, as a comedian also, like, it is great highs and great lows, right? When the people laugh and applaud, best feeling in the world. When you bomb, you feel like shit. But you can go back the next day.
You can go back the next day, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're a fighter...
Or you make a mistake.
And especially on the biggest stage, when it's televised, people will send you memes of you getting knocked out all the time.
You know that happens. You know that happens to my boy.
Of course.
My boy might be the most highly memed guy in the world. You know what I said to everyone? I said, he's the second lightweight that ever got knocked out under that time frame. Who's the first? No one can name me the first because no one gave a fuck. But the reality is that he's an Indian guy and they love to hate them. And so what you learn in this game is just not even about the game. You know the reality is the kid made a mistake at the most crucial moment and he paid for it. Yeah. And he will pay for it himself. But he doesn't need everybody else's fucking judgment on it, man. And that his loss really opened my eyes to how...
say who you're talking about. I know, but at least people understand.
So my boy Anshul Jubilee, Bro.
First Indian UFC fighter.
Bro, he fought his way into the UFC.
And you were there.
None of these motherfuckers fought their way. You know, like the truth is...
Yeah, because it was a tournament. It was a tournament. The road to the UFC.
Road to UFC. He wasn't picked to win it.
Yeah.
But this kid wins it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the crazy thing about it. Like, he won it. He legitimately won a contract, and he got there, and he made a critical error at the most critical moment. And you know what's crazy? One of my closest friends is... So, I know Quillian that he fought, you know? Quillian, like, bro, I love Quillian. And his coach is, like, one of my closest friends, too, you know? And this me and Quillian's coach, we met through Rhyme's dad, yeah? And we share, like, this crazy like guardianship of like Rhyme, Cash and the kids, and you know, like, so we look after them. So when we were both coming up as coaches, we would message each other and we'd talk all the time. You know, I first met him in Singapore and we would be like, yeah man, like fuck, Hazzy, you're doing so well. I said, yeah. But back then Quillian and Cody, who was two UFC guys, yeah, he always ravery because yeah, that's it. And my other friend manages them. So then I take a call. So bro, I'm close. The boys come to the gym. They're like, fuck, Mike, we were doing training camp here. Next thing you know, both his boys cracked the UFC. Now, they got in legitimately as well. Like, they went into contender series, and his boy Cody starches one guy in the first round, and Quillian had Dana White standing up ovation. You know what I mean? When Anshul's manager rang me, and he goes, Mike, I think we're going to go Sydney. I shook my head, and I said, I'm going to tell you 1,000% if you go to Sydney, you're going to fight my little mate over here. You know what I mean? I know who the kid is that they're going to give you. And I said, he's a dog. Like, bro, like that kid's training right now. Like that kid. And we were like so far off, but I'm like, I said, they just, Romel and him went to think, Romel's a fucking great coach. I said, yeah, but know the animal you're going to get, bro. I'm from that area. I'm from that part of the world, brother. People from that part of the world, they come with two guns blazing, you know. And, you know, like, put all of that aside, I went in with the belief that, like, man, this kid can do that, but he made a mistake.
And also it's weird because in the case of Jubilee, he became a national hero because he was the first UFC fighter from a country like India. Yes. So he had a huge country behind him. And when you win, everyone loves you. Father. When you lose, it's like,
you know what I'm going to tell you right now? Indian MMA fans are trash. Yeah, you can put that up there. But you know what? You know why I say that? Because the reality is that Anshul Jubilee support sites in that day switched to these hate meme sites. Bro, they just leverage. They're just there to use it. And I realize when I look at all the like conversations that swirl around it, bro, they don't care about the sport. They don't even care about their fighter. You know what I mean? All they just cared about is what they say and how they could say it. And I'm like, man, it's the worst. But anyway, I like the kid. I love old Anshul.
Let's talk about you.
Ooh.
What is the dumbest mistake you did that ended up teaching you something good? That you're like, you know what? It actually helped me out.
The dumbest mistake. Fuck.
I mean, the podcast is only 1 hour. I know that just by the mistake, we could go
2 days. The list is insane. Is there anything, you know, like when you do some dumb shit and you wake up and you hope that was a dream?
Oh, no. Yeah. That must be really dumb.
Bro.
And that's a dumb thing.
Like, you've done some stuff and you wake up and you go like, fuck, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro, I mean, there's so many in life that I couldn't really pinpoint anything. I just, like, bro, I've just done dumb shit. I say this to you all the time because you go to me like, oh, Mike, you're so wise. And, you know, like, wisdom comes from your failures, really. Yeah. That's where it all kind of stems from.
That's why you're so wise.
The more wiser I became was because the more... Bro,
that's why I hate in Bali also this 21-year-old life coach. Like, what life?
How are you going to tell... How are you gonna, bro? Yeah. You seen what I seen, and I don't even have the balls to try and come into somewhere.
Now, my life coach has to be in his 50 with 2 ex-wives, 4 kids, a limp, a mullet, face tattoos. Like, he needs to have done some fucking mistakes.
I see 20-something-year-olds having relationship courses for people in here. People that have just been in there. How long have you been married for?
Well, I just got married.
You just got married, but how long have you been?
Almost 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. I've seen guys who've been in a 1-year relationship and they're giving marriage advice to people. It's from here. It's insane. This place is the epicenter of fakeness, to be honest.
It is. Yeah. I completely agree with you.
And it's very hard to find authentic people. Well, me and you get on well. Yeah. Because the reality is...
But also, how do you approach... Because, you know, in Bali... As you said, there's so much fake now. Bali is Instagram land, right? Yeah. And people, sometimes they don't even ask you your name. They ask you how many followers you have, or what do you do, or whatever. So how do you manage being, you know, daily in an environment that is super real because it's fighting, and then facing yourself when you go out or you get invited to parties or the after party of the fights with people that are completely fake. How do you handle it?
I don't.
Without just smashing.
I stay out of it these days. In COVID, you couldn't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember.
You know what it was like because you had X amount of time in COVID, so you were busy for X amount of time. But then after that busyness, there's nothing.
Yep.
Because all the restaurants are all closed. You know, like there's not like a huge amount of work. So
and even the amount of people that were training, of course, it was much smaller.
Much smaller, yeah. So I don't, man. Like
you just stay away.
Do you want an honest truth?
Yeah.
Every time I've kind of gone out, I fucking end up in something. Yeah. And at my age,
so if I see you out, I'm just gonna... Nope.
You know. So I carry a bodyguard. I carry Freddie with me, bruv. So I carry Freddie with me. Freddie knows me so well that I'll stand here and a guy will be standing like 2.5 meters away and he'll walk over to the guy and goes, you go stand over there. The guy doesn't even know what's happening. The guy's like, what do you mean? But to be honest, I just can't be around it. Like once I leave and I got to go somewhere, bro, that's my time now. So now my time's precious.
Of course.
And so if you're going to come into my space, bro, I got like guys that will... Bro, I got guys that I'll go out and they'll bring up they're beginners. They'll show me their beginner sparring videos. And that's okay. I'll be okay if they were like, oh, Mike, could you give me some tips? But that's not what they're showing me for. They're like, oh, yeah, fuck, my coach says that I could fight and yeah, fuck, I think I'll be a mean fighter and da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, I'm watching a beginner sparring. I've spent fucking 20 years in this fucking sport and you want me to validate you from this shitty ass beginner sparring video that you want me to on my downtime when I'm trying to drink?
For example, after a fight night, did somebody just come to you like and gave you advice on what a fighter should have done or something like that?
I think when I'm out, I give enough, you know, like
energy not to fuck with me.
Like you know, like if you're my guy, and I've got you all around. But I got enough people around me that as soon as someone starts to like, it'll go like this. Yeah, if I go out. I usually go out with fighters and stuff because it's something to do with them. And then if somebody tries to step to me and with anything that's stupid, I'll kind of like laugh. But 2 or 3 will pick it up. And I'll have like the nephews will turn up off my side. And usually they're like this. And then they'll just look and they'll look at them like, you all good, uncle? And then the person will look at them. They'll look at me and I'll be like, yeah, he's done. Yeah, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's not a posture up. It's the reality.
Also protecting your space and your time.
I got, you know.
For me, the worst, and I have this online all the time and also in person.
God,
and I appreciate where it's coming from, but please don't. People, I have a joke for you. Oh, you can keep it. And it's the worst fucking joke I've ever heard. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I needed that. Perfect.
Bro, but you get that times 100. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Every time you go out, somebody's going to come in.
Or your comedian tell me a joke. That's the usual one.
Yeah. You know what people, it's about guys like us, you know. My mate was with me and he goes, you know, man, I watch you after the thing finishes. And as soon as you finish, so many people try to demand your space and time off you. You'll get off the stage and so many people want to grab you and like talk to you and, you know, like, oh... But the reality is that's the one time you don't want any of that.
Well, for me, it's different.
Yeah?
Because my job... Well, I guess the fighter, of course, is similar in the way that you want as many eyeballs on you. Also. But me as a comedian, I don't consider my work hours finished when I finish performing.
100%.
Because then I have to mingle. I have to interact with people. Because a fighter... Yes, you want to be popular, but as long as you win, you're going to go up. Yeah. Me as a comedian, I need the audience more than the fighter, obviously, you know?
Well, it's interesting you say that because we try to push the fighters into it because we get promoters that will... So the promoter will bring you over, you know what I mean? And then they have this war. Whether you win or lose, they're like, man, you're my guy. Cambodia, I take Aaron to Cambodia. Fights Pitsambot, which is like a superstar over there. He goes to war, 5-round war with the superstar. The Cambodian, they've never seen that. They're like, holy damn, this guy just went toe-to-toe. Aaron lost, but they were just like, he's a savage, Mike. Aaron comes back, hands broken, fuck, he's like a...
And everyone wanted to talk to him.
So the promoter rings, and like Aaron's limping into the lobby. The promoter rings me, and he's like, yo, the boss is going to come. He's going to pick you up and take you to dinner. The boy's banged up.
And he's like, let me go home and rest.
You know what I give props for a kid like Aaron? He looked at me and goes, all right, let's go. Bro, he puts on his glasses. He's banged up. We go have dinner, a few beers. And I'm just like, because it's the reality of the sport that if we want to carry on, then he has to do that sort of stuff.
So what do you say to your guys if they do trash talk or if they don't? You just let them do what they want, or you just like, you know, you need to sell the fight a little bit?
Most times it's authentic. So like if they're trash talking, they really don't like the person. Yeah, like there's real beef, you know what I mean? Like they'll sit there.
But it's not like a trash talk for the sake of trash talking.
No, because the problem is that everybody who's with us, we have that kind of style that's like we're pretty authentic, you know what I mean? Now if you hate that guy, but you know you got to remember that you got a fiery guy like me and Yusuf, so Yusuf is always in the middle of these fucking scuffles at like weigh-ins.
There was one at the PFL, right?
Yeah, there was one of those. Yusuf right in the middle of it. But that's what I love about him.
Well, you got famous and very viral for scuffle with your fighters during the rounds, slapping your fighter. That's your move.
It's my move. You know, you asked me the other time.
But it's like to wake them up, basically.
You asked me the other time, how important am I in those moments? Bruv, you know, I've done it at those crucial moments.
And they needed it.
Pooja, when she got her win. Anshul, how he got into that. Man, like, much even the last Octagon fight, man, he jumped on top. I can see him. He's just like, bop, bop. But I can see he's like looking at the guy like, oh, I want to conserve energy. Bro, you can hear me swearing, yeah, fuck. This fucking over. I said, fucking finish him right now. And he heard me. He said to me, he goes, Coach, I heard you. He's just arches up. Boom, boom. And then fight goes out, you know. And he looked at me and he goes, thank you, Coach. And I was like, yeah, good. Because I can tell you, you know, I look at the guy, I look at you, and I can say to you, like, you can end this right now. But you got to end it right now, kid. Like, don't leave this kid fucking to the third round. Because I've seen the boogeyman come back. Do you know what I mean? You never let the boogeyman back into the room.
And then otherwise, you're going to have so many regrets. You almost had the guy, then he comes back and win the fight.
You know how many times I've sat in that corner when you let the boogeyman come back to you? Bro, they're winning the fight. You get them, they could have put them out in that last round. They get to this third round. Because you remember, that guy's gone back to the corner and the coach has this stage. You just lost 2 rounds. You got to risk everything. You got to go now. So now you got a guy that was way more dangerous than the last 2 rounds, because if he's fucking ballsy enough, he gonna fucking pull the trigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he gonna risk what he never risked before. But that's what makes them dangerous. And so you got a guy like, if your guy hasn't put them out when he should have put them out, man, the boogeyman comes back. Yeah. That's life too.
Yeah, of course.
Damn.
Do we have some, Vlad, do we have a couple questions or? Yeah?
Did you run out?
No, but also depending what time is it, because I don't know, I don't think we have that much time left.
Yeah.
It's 2:48 now.
We started at 1:30. Oh, that is more than 1 hour already. So just give me one question.
I warned you.
Just give me one question, then I have one last thing that I want to do in every podcast. Sorry to take more of your time.
Nah, bro.
Okay. Just let's do for fun rapid fire rounds. So just answer quick, whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
Let's go first. So funniest fighter nickname at SOMA.
Oh. They don't really have nicknames. Who's got a stupid nickname? Sorry, this is the worst quick fire question ever, bro. It's the worst quick fire.
No, we're going to put like this punch at 3 hours later.
Bro, and I still haven't answered it. The worst quick fire. Because, other coaches would have gone like, oh, this is this guy. Yeah, I mean...
Also past fighters. So you can shit on someone that's not fighting with you.
Who's had a dumbass name that I've just looked at and gone like, fuck, that name's trash. I don't know.
Next.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
next one.
Sorry for failing that mission.
It's alright. So, the weirdest thing someone brought to a training session?
Weirdest thing someone brought to a training session?
You're very good with rapid fire questions.
Fucking hell, I suck at rapid fire.
Their girlfriend.
Shit. Fuck, leave them at home. Leave those ones at home.
Did you find that?
Oh, I love it because it's just going to be all these fails of this rapid fire. Like, Mike, you're shit at rapid fire.
Oh, okay, let's try this one. If SOMA were a comedy movie, who will play you and why?
Oh,
Okay.
as a comedy movie? Who would play me? Fuck, who's the guy of after the uncle from Friday,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you can throw that up on the screen. I forget. Yeah, that is who I'll be. Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. That's the guy.
Then you're also shit at impressions. That's two things.
Bro, I didn't say yeah.
You know what I love?
And,
what I love? That every time I say something or I tease you, you just go this.
Yeah,
like ready.
Yeah, like throw down. Yeah.
Okay, last one. If you should choose any current fighters at SOMA or previous, who would you send 2-3 years to Dagestan and forget?
Who I send 2-3 years Dagestan and forget? My nephew Rhyme, because he's got shit wrestling. And then he became like the state jiu-jitsu champion. Then he fires all those messages to us and goes like, yo, look at me. But he's like, we call it Kiwi wrestling. It's terrible.
Yeah?
Yeah, Kiwi's got trash wrestling. No, that's not true. Some are good. Yeah. But my nephew.
Who's a good wrestler from?
Muhammad Machev, King Kong.
No, from Kiwi, I mean.
The Kiwis?
Yeah.
Good question. Offensively, no one.
Yeah, exactly. Because
they're all defensive wrestlers.
Yeah.
But they're so good at keeping everybody on their feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brad Riddell's king of he's very good at keeping everyone on their feet. Yeah.
All right. I've got, or you want to do a last one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry I failed your rapid fires.
I mean...
Keep them simpler for
It was simple. I just think I was trash.
So this is similar, but you can expand. I'm
Yeah.
just going to mention one word and what it means to you.
Okay.
Right? The first one is violence.
Yeah, I mean, normality, really. I think, violence exists everywhere around us, and those who are better to adapt with it, deal with it better, you know what I mean? And it shouldn't be normal, but it's so much part of our everyday makeup. And, bro, I'm not advocating for it, but I like the fight sports because we are in the crux of the most violent part of it, which is I punch you, you punch me in the face, and we laugh about it and we learn to deal with it in such a healthy way. You know what I mean? Conflict no longer becomes such a big thing. Yeah. You just think I'm violent now, don't you?
You are. But no, you're the kind of person that you are the nicest guy ever, but you don't want to fuck with you,
Yeah, I'm glad that energy comes off, you know. You work hard on that sort of energy.
Also, we have this story. We repeat that all the time at the gym.
Yeah.
Is my favorite story with Mike.
My favorite too.
Yeah, so when I first started doing comedy, and it was going good, we had an open mic with 200-300 people every Friday, and he was coming to every show. Yeah, he actually supported me. I'll never forget this. I went to do my first show in Denpasar for a local audience, and he came to watch me.
Yeah, bro.
And but I remember, I felt the king of the world because I was in front of 300 people.
I didn't warn you.
Single, like I'm on stage, I have the mic, I have the power, and so I started talking shit about people. And this part of what comedy is crowd work. And then I started talking about you, and you looked at me, and you were like, "Don't." And at that point, it's like you checked me, right?
Yeah,
you said, don't.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was done because I was like, everyone's looking at me. I cannot
don't back down.
I cannot.
Which I liked about it. I actually liked it.
And so I don't even remember the joke. What I remember is the day after at the gym. It doesn't tell me nothing. Regular job. I do my training. I was like, okay, cool. The training is over. Everyone is exhausted. And he says, everyone start planking. And everyone goes, Chris, not you. Remember what I told you yesterday? Now you're going to do 500 kicks with your left and 500 kicks. And nobody's allowed to put their knee down until you finish. So I had like 30 people hating on me and me just kicking exhausted. Oh. And that was the last time I've ever made a joke about you on stage.
The smile's still there because I remember that like yesterday.
But that's such a fun memory that I have of you.
But it's just, we always say there's the things you do between two people that really care and like each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I would never do that to someone that I didn't like because I'm not going to give you the special treatment that you deserve. And I smiled because when you hit the joke, I was like, cool, bro. You wait till tomorrow. Man of my word. Because as you went down that road, I remember I said, don't do this. But I was like, bro, because I would always take a crowd with me to your show. Yeah. I used to love it. It was like such
You always run deep.
I always run deep, and so I had them looking at me and I was like, wow, I'm a man of my word.
Yeah, because also now I understand now, if you would have just let me joke about you, they would have said, Coach, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bro, you just let him off.
Yeah.
And I could say, he's my close friends, mate. But
still,
you're my close friend.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll make it funny.
And it's interesting. Now it happens less because, of course, now SOMA became much bigger as well. And then there's you have to divide your attention to so many people. And now you run mostly just the big classes and the fighters class. Yeah. But every time, I was chosen, you chose me for you to hold pads again. It felt special, you know. I always, but it was the worst experience because then I'm just dead because you, So the second word, what comes to your mind when I say roots?
Man, family, really, family and culture. I'm from a strong Polynesian culture, and if it wasn't for those things, I don't know, I might not be the person that I am today. I am an embodiment of my roots. The streets that I came up on, the family that raised me, my dad who looked after me when he needed to, the boys who supported me along this whole journey.
And now, very briefly, would you describe from someone like me, for example, that never seen really, like the closest contact, of course, I have with Polynesian culture is you and the guys.
All the boys come in.
How would you describe Polynesian culture?
It's the most beautiful thing in the world, Like, you talk to me about welcoming and caring and all that, and that's Polynesian culture. Polynesian culture is that, how you describe it, nicest people in the world, fuck around, find out. You know what I mean? Like, really. Like, when Islanders will fight, bro, the music's on, they're chilling, they'll meet their opponent. There's no real trash talk or anything. Like they know what's up, you know what I mean? And so when they step over into the cage, bro, they'll swing so hard on you that you're going to try and knock you out. And as soon as you go down, they're going to try and pick you back up and say, it's all good, brother. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're so adept with violence that that it's almost like just an inherent part of our world. They'll always tell you that Islanders are always scared of their mums and their aunties and their grandmas. That's who they're scared of the most. The uncles, the dads, they'll give them hiding. But
that's interesting because that many violent culture. I wasn't raised in a violent culture, but feel the same. Like the Russians is the babushkas, you know, the grandmas.
Yeah. So, you know, because they check you.
Yeah.
They check you. You turn up, everyone's like, but it's a good thing because then it really sets a tone for everybody else. You know what I mean? So there's a time and place for that physicality. For Islanders, it's not always about violence, but it's about physicality. You know, we love the physical nature of stuff.
Big freaking
I'm
guys.
small, man. Fuck, compared to
no, but like the Islanders, they're the biggest guys
That's
ever.
So when I first got to Bali,
Samoan babies look 30-year-old. Like a Samoan baby. Like
yeah. So you remember when I first come, everyone's like, "Fuck, Mike, you so big," and I'm like, "Bro, you have no idea." But then COVID came, the borders opened up, and
you start bringing your.
Bro, you seen all my nephews that turn up. They're just fucking monsters.
And then it's like, how old are you?
17. You know, and it's just, I'm proud of that.
Of course.
Because everybody looks like, man, he looked like he's 30. I was like, bro, you wait till he is 30, then you're in trouble, you know. And so, I mean, Polynesian coast is full of love, full of pride. Like, you know, we're such prideful and lovable people. But, man, we will just never back down from anything.
I told you in person as well, you have a beautiful culture, but as an Italian, don't get this wrong. Every time you post your food, it's like, I missed the food. Really? You missed it? You missed this?
You know what's funny? You know how like you like Italian food?
Yeah, of course.
And you would say to someone like, look, come, like you tell me, Mike, come and try. I'm gonna make you my lasagna, my spaghetti, and people will eat it and they'll go, wow, that's amazing. I always tell all the Islanders, like, because they're like, come and eat our food. I was like, don't. Because if I took you and I said, what do you think, and watch you, you're not going to have the same reaction as if you made Italian food, and I'll be like, because we got raised with it and we love that. But
but it's because it's an emotional connection.
Yeah, I know it's all emotional because, you know, I look at people and I watch my other family and they go, yeah, eat this. And people are like, yeah, it's okay. Like taro. Taro is the staple. People want to know what islanders are big. They eat so much taro.
Yeah, it's a superfood.
Yeah, it's like a superfood. But it's dense. It's tasteless. People will go, it tastes like cardboard. I think it's the best food in the world, man. But I know that. I know if I gave you taro right now, you would look at me like, oh my God.
Well, but maybe if I ate more taro, I would be... So, yeah. And the last one. What does legacy means to you?
Great word. Everything for everybody. You know what I mean? I talked about this with fighters. I talk about with myself in relation with SOMA. I don't care what I get and what I leave behind, but it's the legacy is what you leave for people that has touched them in a way that will create this emotive response that they will go, man, I was a part of something. Do you know what I mean? There's no other way I could kind of describe it. And legacy for me, for all the ones that are around me, is everything. You know, what's the mark on the world that you want to leave? Positive. You know what I mean? Something negative. But positively, like, how do you want to leave that? And I guess that's what drives me to work with all these guys in this crazy, crazy pursuit of such a small margin that one day that they will get there. Because they'll get to leave that legacy in the world and then it's all over, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, yeah, man, I mean, everything, I guess. Yeah.
Nice. I think it's a great place to end the pod.
I agree.
Thank you, brother.
My man.